Welcome to this overview of Anvil's PDF fill feature. PDF filling is commonly used to fill government forms, applications, frankly, any document you need filled. Once filled, your final PDFs can be made fully editable. First, decide on data sources you're going to use to fill your PDFs. Next, templatize your PDF using Anvil Document AI. From there, it's as simple as making a REST request to Anvil's PDF fill endpoint with your API key. Templatizing your PDF is fast with Document AI. Simply upload your PDF and we'll identify and assign field types and field aliases for you. You just need to double check that it all makes sense. Now let's look at a real-life example of a PDF fill. I'm going to fill out this fictitious adoption form using Anvil's PDF fill API. In this screen, you can see two adoption forms. Both have been filled out using our PDF fill API. On the left is one I filled out on a free plan, and the one on the right was filled using advanced features available on an Anvil custom plan. As you can see in this document on the left with the free plan, none of these fields are editable after the document has been filled. I can't click on them, I can't edit the information. Additionally, there are only spaces for 5 items within my table. If I have additional items, I'd need to run another request in order to add more. So there's no real way to exceed the amount of items available in the document template itself without running some additional requests. However, with our advanced features, you can add interactive fields. Every single one of these fields can be edited in the post. This is something that I've set. You can also set specific fields that you want to make editable. Additionally, as part of the custom plan feature set, you can automatically repeat this page to account for overflow line items within your table. In this document, you can see I actually have 2 pages. The page was automatically repeated for me, and my extra line items were filled into that additional page. Let's walk through how to do this. This is a document template. Before you start filling in your document templates, you should have already created one and cleaned it up. Our document AI is great for taking a document and turning it into a fillable template. You'll just want to go through and double check all your fields are in the right place and labels are correct. This template has the correct field type for data validation reasons. It has a human readable field name, and very important for this particular activity is that it has human readable field aliases. If I want to enable my advanced auto table overflow feature, I need to go through each of these columns like name and breed and turn them into an array field type, which I've done here. Let's take a look and contrast at a template that is not cleaned up. As you can see in this one, all my fields have very unintelligible field names. We don't know what any of them are. They don't have a good field type. They're all short text. There's no data validation. And there's also no field aliases here. So why is this important? Well, when you go to fill in your template over API, you would click on your API tab where you could see your example payload, which you would use as a starting point to start filling in your template. You can see in the one that I've cleaned up, the field aliases are very clear as to what each item is. The address field, for example, has the correct field type address, so it has the street, city, state, zip, country, all connected. In contrast, the API page for this other document template that was not cleaned up has fields that are very unclear. They have no data validation. Luckily enough, it does have some information for address here at the top, but because it wasn't an address type field, all these different parts of my address are separate fields. So I'd have to pass those data points separately. Very important to have a very clean template. Next, you can go ahead and copy your example payload, which you will need momentarily. And you'll also need this fill API URL, so be sure to have that handy. This is my example payload pasted in. From here, we can start modifying the information to be exactly what I want to enter and then get everything cleaned up and ready. For the sake of time, here's one that I have already cleaned up. Now, a few important things to point out here. Aside from adding in all your data that you would like, if you want to enable some of those custom plan features like interactive fields, you'll need to add some important flags. This flag, called Use Interactive Fields, needs to be set to true at this top level. This will apply and make the entire document interactive. So every single field in my document is interactive and can be edited later on. Another important flag you want to customize is default read only. Set this to false, which makes those fields so that they're no longer editable. And we do not want that, so I'm going to set this to false so the entire document can be edited. However, if there are specific fields that you do want to lock and not have your end user edit, you can apply default read only equal to true for that individual field. I'm not going to do that in my example, but it is possible. For those overflow items, there's nothing extra you need to do. If you're on a custom plan, all you need is to add in all your line items. In my case, I have 6 line items. Remember, I only had space for 5. Once I'm on a custom plan feature, if I add in all my array items, even if there are extra, Anvil will automatically take care of them and help me repeat that page, or pages if I happen to have more than 10, for example. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy this payload and head over to Postman. This is Postman. First things first, you want to paste in your API key to authorize use. The next thing you want to do is add that API URL from our API page earlier. If you go back to your document, you can copy the fill API URL and then head back to Postman, and this is where you would paste it. All right, last step. In this body is where we would provide our example payload. This is the payload I've already cleaned up. I've made sure my interactive fields are there, default read only is there, everything is set to my liking. I've added in my line items normally. No need to worry about anything because I'm using an API key that belongs to my custom plan. Then I can go ahead and send this. And in my response, you can see the resulting document. Everything looks exactly how I'd hoped. You cannot preview the interactive fields in the Postman response, but what we can do is save this response file. And after you save it and open it up, this is the resulting document. It's editable because I included my interactive fields and it automatically overflowed my extra row items onto a repeating page. You should now be well equipped to get started programmatically filling PDFs. If you need to collect data and signatures, use Etch eSign for one-off documents or workflows for documents you use repeatedly.